Good morning. I am here now. It is June 27th, 7 a.m. on Earth where I am, 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is our first block of the streaming marathon for the Gaming Community Expo and Pixels After Dark ArtistAlley online streaming marathon. It's a lot of words. There's a lot. It's small. GCX, Pixels After Dark, ArtistAlley online. Good morning. I definitely didn't oversleep and completely freaked myself out trying to get up this morning. Not at all. Why? Why would you think that? Why would you think that? And I didn't have any issues testing with the only device that I didn't check last night. No, why would that be the case? But we're here this morning to try to raise a little bit of money for St. Jude. Normally, this time of year, we're all able to get together and meet and have fun at a big party, at a big convention, at last year it was the Rosen Shingle Creek down in Orlando, Florida. In past years, it's been all over sort of the Central Florida area. Some of you, I'm sure, were guests with us there previously. But this year, we're doing this all digitally. And so we wanted to, get as many artists together, get as much going to really kind of celebrate the moment and continue supporting the charity, which we all do in our own ways, uniquely, individually at the convention. So yeah, we've got some incentives this morning. I'm going to be working on some art. Right in front of me is the Karma's Revenge banner painting that I'm doing. I was working on transferring the design down to the canvas so I could get some lines in there and get working on stuff. And of course, the only thing that I couldn't get working this morning was logging into Twitch on my iPad right in front of me so I can watch chat. And wouldn't you know it, it didn't work. So I think I'm just going to try to at least get to the website real quick so that I can see in case anyone is talking to me. Because it's hard to see over here where y'all can't see me. So yeah. Ooh, look at that. We've got $1 in there already. Test donation. Only $19.99 to go. Hey, Pesty, thanks, buddy. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get my iPad to show me chat and stuff while I'm talking to people. Twitch.tv/PXLS After Dark. Go. iPad's probably going to be like, open this up in the Twitch app. And I'm going to be like, but I can't log in. Hey, there it goes. Nice, okay. Just going to make sure volume's turned all the way down so I don't get a bunch of cross-contamination. Cool. Alright. So yeah, so this one's a little, it's in a slightly odd spot because I already did sort of trace down on the design that I showed off on Twitter the other day, and it wasn't dark enough. So there's some transfer lines from the graphite sheet that's underneath this, but it's too light to use, especially because one of the next things I'm going to have to do is seal it and then put another layer of primer, clear primer on top of it. And the minute the seal hits the graphite, the very tiny amount of graphite that got down there, it's going to grab the other little particles of graphite and just close together, and it's going to look lighter to me because the liquid from the aerosol and the plastic from the aerosol that gets sprayed down is going to oh geez, what's the word when it's not the same particles that jump to each other, that sticks together? I can't remember. I'm not good at chemistry. I'm not good at chemistry at all. It's morning. It's early for me. I meant to get up very early. That didn't work out. I overslept. Nah. Okay. So this is going to be kind of a loosey-goosey. It's going to get really messy. And 2 more pieces of this. My dog is so confused this morning. Normally we go for a big long walk. And I got up a little late, so he just got to go out back. So what I'm going to do is just use actually a ballpoint pen, because last night I used a pencil to do this, to try to capture the shading over again. And while it's a cool looking sketch, it did not do its job. So I'm going to just grab all of the outlines really quickly. It's already picking up so much of that graphite because I used a B pencil. The hardness of the pencil is B. So like, you know, talk about some nerd-ass shit. There's pencils all have hardness ratings. So when everyone in the world just uses the standard number 2, that's actually it's designating the hardness of the graphite and basically the darkness that it can output. So last night I was using this little, I think it's a Kimberly B pencil. Very impressive. I know everyone's, whoa, look at this guy, he knows his pencils. I do know my pencils. And we're not going to use one today on that. We're going to use this Zebra F402. It's steel. It's a very strong pen. Ooh, yes, thank you. So yeah, Storm Heather O Studios asking what I'm making. This is a commission for Karma's Revenge. It is a banner / crest sort of painting. They commissioned me to design up something featuring these 2 specific hand cannons, Sunshot and Imago Loop, and they requested Mal Nightingale, Crit Buff, and Joshua JJB, the hosts of Karma's Revenge. They asked me to put all of these elements together: the shield, the tree, the Iron Banner tree, and the wolves and the hand cannons, and I sort of did the rest with the embellishments and the little elements, sort of putting the round crest inside this kite shield shape, and put the traveler up top and everything. And what I'm going to do really quickly is just get in here and very roughly, because this ballpoint pen is pushing way harder through the layers of paper. So I'm just going to get in here and get these lines so I can get to painting this one, because it's craving that good painting. And this is kind of a boring part, but I failed to do it correctly yesterday, so everybody gets to watch it. And I'm not going to go crazy. I'm literally just going to do the outlines so I can catch the rest of the painting. And I had to do a lot of sort of layering, real-life graphic design kung fu on this one. Normally this sort of thing with multiplying layers and compositing things, I would use Photoshop and print it, or maybe use a projector or something to get the outlines onto the canvas. But I don't have the same exact setup as I normally use, and this is a little big and ended up being pretty complex because several parts of it got unique designs for the painting. The wolf design, which some of you have probably seen as the Let the Wolves Howl design that I put out and am raising money for Rain with. Oh, I really like drawing these paws. I've done this like 6 or 7 times, and I don't know why, but these paws are like, especially this really claw upraised paw, it really gets me. It's not like, yeah, check out this paw. Ow, etc. It's a wolf. Get it? So this is a little wonky looking because it's just a pen outline. And honestly, like every single time with paintings like this is just 100% going to get covered up. And I'm not gonna see it again. So it's kind of like, you know, I know it's like a sacrifice to the art. It's gonna be invisible. It's gonna be underneath everything. It's going to get covered up by paint and wash and more graphite and colored pencil, and I was telling Josh, this one's taking a little while to get started because there's just been so much going on, like in the community and the world, and I just moved across the country, and it's wild, but like they basically look weird until they don't, and you'll see really when I take it down to the canvas in a second here, exactly what that means, because like it's just kind of a mess under there. Hopefully these are, I have underneath this, there's a block of wood that's helping me put pressure all the way through so it's more evenly distributed. Hopefully I'm not just throwing my head directly into both of the cameras so that you can't see what I'm working on. I'll push this up a little bit. I know that's more visible. Oh, it's just totally underneath my head. My arm will be drawing the other side of the image very soon. But this doesn't have to be perfect. This part, it just needs to be showing up intensely. And I can peek under this corner and kind of check that too. Oh, maybe I can't. Not as easily as I thought I could. Ah, yeah, it's working. It's working. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Oh, thanks, Squared. Look at that. So right after I do the outlines on this guy, I'm gonna pop the Fellwinter's piece up on the screen, which is, it's gonna be the incentive for both my stream and for part of the rest of the day. It's one of several that we're going to do. Very much like this is going to, these are going to receive, you know, sort of the standard Imago loop's going to be like sort of bluish silver sunshot. That's what it's called. Yeah, it's one of my favorite longest time using hand cannons, so why would I remember? Is like a orange and yellow, and you can see like the sort of the patina, the heat, something, what is it called when metal changes colors because it gets hot? Whatever. That's what the sunshot does. Oh, I totally didn't even cut some of these lines into this guy on the other sketch. It's my fault. And this is just, like I said, I'm just going in here and getting like the very roughest of rough shapes because some of it came down. Oh, dude, Sunshot it's easy to be a favorite because it's so good, especially after they buffed it, gave it a masterwork and buffed the heck out of it. Where'd my tiny ruler go? It was right there the whole time. But yeah, when they gave it like a proper magazine size for a 180, right? It's good. It's good. I still like using it. I like that and Graviton Lance a lot because the explosions are so fun. Weapons that not a lot of people use anymore. But I'm an old man and I use dad rifles. Which, speaking of which, I have not gotten yet this season's new dad rifle from the season pass and the unlock thing. I don't even remember what it's called yet. Been so unable to play because we've been putting a lot of time into organizing this and working with all the streamers and working with GCX to get this off the ground. Maybe I should get a few little things in here and there. Had some friends help get me to 3 wins before the end of the season on one of the auto rifle weeks in trials. That was pretty dope. Miss Jenny and Hannah helped me do that. That was awesome. Thanks, y'all. And we've done some raid clears lately. Oh, look. My dog's getting up. He probably wants to do full big time walkies, which we're going to do after the stream. Because yours truly didn't manage to get up early. Surprise. Alright, okay. So this doesn't, like what I was saying, this doesn't have to be perfect. These will get regular colors. The color will really cover 90% of the sketch work that I have to put down to at least, because these paintings, you know, oftentimes they're coming from an original source. This one's coming from like 5 original sources. So it's just, it's a bit much is the thing. And I just need to get it, I need to make sure that it's sort of blocked onto the canvas even correctly, so that I know where to actually get the paint to without having to do a million layers and a million lines. Alright, cool, so that's that. And this stuff too can also be basically overlapping. They need to be perfect. It's a good view of my head, probably. This shirt, this lovely shirt, was designed and printed by none other than the Dachi Collective themselves. Dr. Jones and his amazing partner, Madison Blades. Jonesy is up tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening? It's afternoon for us. We're on the West Coast. It's evening for y'all on the East Coast. And it's, who even knows what time out in the real world, on the other side of the globe, in the middle of the country. I don't even know how time zones work. They're very complicated. Ask anyone who is involved in helping to plan this. I constantly had a hard time remembering time zone stuff. It's great. A little illustration, just a little outline of the Traveler in its semi-broken state. I don't want to talk out of school. I don't want to talk about spoilers, but have y'all seen that new biz? Even the cover art has some clues in it. What? Trying to read what y'all are putting down in chat. I look down and it's just weird. Something about Ghost Rider. Gotta have my morning caffeine. Trying to at least make the blocking for the tree a little bit more symmetrical than I did previously. That's going to take a bunch of work. I'm probably going to turn this piece into a stencil to make sure I can get the tree to look like wicked symmetrical. But for now, we got to at least know where it lives on the canvas. So the microphone's probably picking up a little bit of this scritchy scratching on the canvas and the board underneath. I'm gonna probably get a compass to do a real circle on this before it's all said and done. Drinks are bad last year. I did learn energy drinks are bad last year, but what I actually learned was caffeine pills are bad last year. Or not acclimating your body to being awake during the daytime effectively. I'm like reaching for the $10 word and the $4 word was staring me in the face. No, there was a lot going on at that moment that was less about the amount of caffeine. I mean, there was a lot that was going on that was specifically about the amount of caffeine I drank because my body was going into shock. But I hadn't been sleeping well. I had been working nights, and I didn't sleep really well both nights before I started traveling. And then instead of saying like, hey, I'm gonna take another quick break and I'm gonna make sure that I'm ready to go, I pressed on, and I really, hadn't slept properly for probably about 3 days. So yeah, it's 7 in the morning. I got up at 6:30 on a Saturday. I'm having a bunch of caffeine today to be alert during this segment of the day, and all I have to do is pilot a desk. So I should be fine. I am a lot more cautious with all of that for sure, thanks not only to that experience but to others. But it's one of those weird things too, where the situation tells on itself a little bit, like it needs some adjusting, because realistically, like, there was a moment when it was happening that I was feeling bad enough that I could have done something about it and should have done something about it if I didn't live in a system that was made up of rolling the dice to determine whether or not you can get medical care, which frankly is one of the reasons we're here today, because St. Jude is an organization that takes that dice rolling out of the equation, at least for a period of time. That's incredibly important when when there is absolutely no reason why a person shouldn't just be cared for when they need it. And St. Jude does that for kids, especially kids that get big time sick, big terminal, big bad conditions. Now, I've had little medical problems in my past. I've broken the hell out of my arm. I have nerve damage in this arm from bad ergonomics and posture from years and 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 years as an adult. Being given just the worst chairs on the worst floors. I worked for a small record shop for a long I worked for a national record shop for a long time that didn't have enough money to put us all in the right kinds of chairs. But I've also worked for a lot of small places that couldn't really afford the right ergonomics, and I had a chronic issue for a long time that came from a pinched nerve in my neck. I've told a bunch of you about this before. I've written about it before, but it's one of those things that sort of, the minute I had to do that, I had never had to go to the doctor 2-3 times a week, or sometimes 4 or 5 times a week. Go to separate doctors, go to different appointments. Yeah, dilution. One shot. Dilution. That's the big one. But yeah, like, nobody wants to go over and over again. That's the thing that always gets kind of missed in discussions about this, is like, nobody actually wants to be there. And of course that's kind of obvious, because nobody wants to be sick, nobody wants to be dealing with that. But like, nobody wants to go over and over again. Sometimes you have to, because sometimes the only recourse is to get better. And you need help to do that. So, that's why we're here for St. Jude, for the kids, for the little lights. So if you can, just type bash, that's exclamation point, donate, and it'll take you right to our Tiltify, and it'll let you drop a little bit of money in for the kids. If you can't, don't worry. Come on, just be here, hang out. As Bife says, you know, at the end of all his videos, your viewership, right? We need that. We want you around. We want you watching. We want you to make sure you're seeing what we're doing for the day. We've got, what is it? Squared or Storm? I know you're still in chat. How many people do we have total across 2 days? I think it's like 14 or 16. It's a lot. We got a lot for y'all. Put these little dots on the sunshot cylinder. Is there like a bash schedule command? I bet there is. Show 100 entries on list. There is a bash schedule command, he says as he rolls away from his keyboard. Somebody else type bash schedule. There you go. Okay, almost done with the boring part. But you can see my arm while I do it now, I bet. Okay. Wow, 30 minutes of talking and doing this. I'm gonna have to pick something very painty right after this. Oh, you know what I didn't do? You know what I didn't do right away? Was turn on the new cooling system that I designed for the camera, which would have overheated before this ended. Good morning. Good morning, my little blueberries. Okay. Outline of wolf number 2 And then we're moving on the ball. You know what it is. You know how we do. So we're big teefers. What big teefers you have, Mr. Wolfo. I need someone to edit for the puppies trailer and make it for the little lights. Ah, dude, I feel like that's out there, right? Someone's made that one. Hey, Death Duck, what's up? Thanks for being in here. Oh, I get to draw his little paws, his little toe beans again. His little toe beans and his toe talons. That's two of them. Really, all I wanted to do is draw two wolves. It's like that meme, there are two wolves inside of you. One is hungry and the other one is hungry. I think I just haven't had breakfast. Toe beans. Oof, homework. Have fun. Last thing I want to ever do again. I can't get homework anymore because the place I work, the job I have, I can't do it if I'm not there. It's a farm. I'm a farmer. I'm an armor-plated farmer. I'm an archer rising with a drawn bow for the bullseye, which clings and argues. I think it's Aesop Rock. I think that's how that song goes. That's how part of it goes, for sure. There's a very good chance that's not how the rest of it goes. Oh, come on. Get this man a poetry. I did not write that. Ian Matthias Babbitts wrote that. If it was just reciting other people's poetry, maybe I'd be fine. We don't want to read my poetry. My poetry is like the poetry from the Hitchhiker's Guide that the Vogons write. Oh, scribble de pom flabble. I think. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, and I don't think they wrote the poem. Maybe he wrote the poem out in the original book. It seems like the sort of thing that Douglas Adams would do. Okay, look at this. Done. It's not even a whole lot going on. Maybe I'll put a little bit of the indicators for the light/dark spaces on the walls. I'll scribble in a tiny bit. Hey Vin, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining chat today. While we kick off the GCX / Pixels After Dark stream marathon for the ArtistAlley 2020. All right. Okay, so now the big reveal. What was all that? Why didn't it work the first time, Rez? Why didn't you just get it ready last night when you were planning to? Well, dear audience, everybody makes mistakes. All right. So this is just like this graphic transfer paper. Oh, look at that, it's just a mess. Try to turn it over so it's sort of visible. And see, I did it multiple times and failed. You see more than one set of lines there. But now, so I've got indicators throughout. I can see it. It's pretty dark. Nice and easy to see. And I can grab, maybe I'll use a black pencil that's not sharpened. Didn't I just sharpen one of these? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this one's gonna be fun, I think, to get the rest of the paint on, because I'm gonna be working in a lot of elements together. A lot of different pieces of this have been designed individually. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to have show through, not lose as part of the painting. But this one's actually going to go up on the drying rack in just a few minutes. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm going to pop out some other pieces, sort of show the progress on those. I definitely want to show off the incentive, the giveaway painting that I have here. So I'll pull that up in just a second. Love it. You're mostly hearing a wood on surface sound there that's squeaking. It's beautiful. Honk honk. And I tell you, I have had the hardest time finding colored pencils that don't just shatter because of being used on canvas and paint. It's like so much more gnarly than paper. And these pencils, they just get chewed up. So like, I'll have to sit here and sharpen one 5 or 6 times just to put a small amount of lines down. And it seems to primarily be these black pencils. I don't really know why. They just like to, maybe when I'm using the black tone, it's not, I'm just being a little bit more rough, less frugal with it, so maybe I'm just destroying them. Very possible. Carmines. Revenge. Cool. Alright, so that's this guy. This is just going up in the old drying rack, which is literally right next to me. And so really quickly, I'm not going to do anything for this one, but I wanted to pop it up here because it is our giveaway. So everybody that's donating this block, and I think Squared can probably put it in chat, but we're actually doing all day now for this giveaway and for a few others. Anyone who donates any amount gets entered to pick the shader, and I mean like pick a real shader from the game, and that will be the shader, that'll be the color. I shouldn't slam on the desk, it moves the camera. that'll be the color scheme for this Fellwinter's Lie painting. And it will, that person, the person who picks the shader color, will get the original. You just get it free. You donate $5, you donate $1, you donate whatever to St. Jude during this stream marathon today, and you'll get that. And there'll be prints, of course, but the prints will be the shader color you picked. So if you pick like Burgosian Night, and it makes this whole thing pink and glowy and purple and lines and animated, the painting won't be animated. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I don't think it exists yet. If it does, call me. Yeah, pick whatever, man. Pick, what is it? Coral Reef, or Reef Coral or something like that, one of them. There's like a blue and purple and pink one, and that would look wild on this. I put some of the Raid shaders on it, the original Leviathan Raid shaders. Calluses Selected looks dope on this gun. It's like gold and purple and like Stormtrooper armor white. Watermelon, I see squared type of watermelon. Watermelon's a good shader. In honor of our boy Jake, the Watermelon Exo himself. And then of course there's your gritty standbys. You got your Dead Orbit camo. You got your Dead Orbit, what's the one that looks like leather? Like ground up leather? Ooh, there's that ace though. Look at him in the chat. But yeah, pick a shader, any shader. Donate first. Get entered. Pick a shader. That'll be the color I put on this. The original will become yours. The prints will go up. Everyone will love it. Okay. So, one of the next ones I have to do is also a transfer. I really scheduled and planned this all out. Maybe I'll do a different thing first. I'll pick from further down the list. Ooh, you know what I'll do next? Here, let's pop this off the table. And this guy. This is just a little scrap of transfer paper. Oh, that's not it. It's down here. So this is a little harder to see because of the glare from the lights. And let me see if I can adjust the focus a little bit. Let's see. Let's turn it to this. Gonna get a little bit of weird noise real quick. Hang on, let me mute. I didn't mute and then I muted. That was stupid. Can y'all see the detail? Does it look okay? Because it's curved, the auto focus doesn't want to like pick it up correctly. But yeah, so this is a commission. So sorry, Ace, can't have this one. And it's obviously Thorn and the Last Word. And they're interacting here on the deck. And I'm going to do a little bit more dripping and splattering. I'm going to do some black after I do a little bit on this guy. But I've got a bunch of my Thorn colors here on the table. This is a bunch of different grays, obviously. My Last Word colors. Where's my red? I guess I was using red ink last. bed's over here. So yeah, these are, this one's just getting a little bit of detail work to kind of finish off both of these guys. Which one should I do first? I should do Thorn first. And I actually, you know what, I want a nicer detail brush. These brushes are a little trash. I've been using them for weeks. Thank you. Brand new little Tower art brush. Huh, that's funny. Tower, get it? Ace, come on buddy, you're never too old to skate. Like me, who broke his arm at a skate park when he was 28, 29, when I was 29. Never too old. I'm sure that there is video that some 16-year-old kids got that day of me plummeting off of a skate ramp, breaking my arm straight in half. Tony Hawk is over 50. Tony Hawk is in his 50s. He was all over the internet a couple of weeks ago, right? Oh, dude, these brushes, when they're new and they're not completely frayed and destroyed, they're so good. I can do such sharp lines with these. Hey, it's Cobb. What's up, buddy? So many people, man, this is the most people I've ever had in a stream with me. I don't really stream very often, y'all probably know that, but wow, look at all of you people watching me make these pieces, watching me very gently paint. I wish I had, this is going on the 4th or 5th time that I wish I had spent more time actually doing a lot of streaming stuff. But I'm a farmer. I got a full-time job pretty quickly after moving, and I'm actually really excited about it. Thanks, Cobb. Hi, everyone who, it looks like a couple people just popped in, or at least some people. Oh, that was when Cobb came in. And Magickelly, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're painting. We're raising money for St. Jude. We're doing the biz. Paint eraser. Scrape it off if it's not ready. This has a flat shape up top. What kind of farm? Deathduck, that's a very good question. It is a cannabis farm. and it is also a vegetable farm. I work on the cannabis farm side. I live in Oregon, where it is legal. Hey, Ghost. I know, we'll go out for a walk after the stream. Don't worry, buddy. There literally is there's two sides of the farm. One side is vegetables. Yesterday was Friday. On Wednesday, I was pulling snap peas that had already been harvested, and we were taking down posts and trellises that had been on the vegetable side so that we could use them on the cannabis side, because it's summertime and we have a big outdoor section that's just now getting filled up and set to go, because we also have greenhouses, which my brain, when I'm working, I keep calling them warehouses. It's totally not right. But yeah, it's actually really cool. There's not a lot of the work has a lot to do with the culture. It's just farming. And it's just getting up early, moving around heavy stuff, getting sunburned, which I should probably just do a better job of covering myself and wearing sunscreen. Aw, thank you very much, Kelly, Magic Kelly, regular Kelly or Magic, it's whatever, you're good. But thank you, I appreciate that you're excited to be here and happy to see all of us too. That's awesome. Yes, that's true, Coed. Melanoma is bad, sunscreen is good. My problem, though, is the number of times so far that I have to, reapply it, and whether or not I do a good enough job before going back out into the sun and sweating it all off again. Or getting a bunch of dirt all over myself and having to try to, wash that off, and then inadvertently washing the sunscreen off and forgetting to reapply it to just my neck. Everywhere but my neck. Remember, let's do the whole everything, face, forget the back of my neck at the end of the day. Reapply 6 times a day, forget once. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you forget that last time. The sun's gonna get you. It's like in the desert levels in Mario, in the old Super Mario World. I'm an old man for the 5th time. I played that game when it was new and I was in 4th grade. Pretty sure. No, I was in 2nd or 3rd grade when that game came out. No, but I have a bunch of aloe. I've got a what's it called? I need to bring it. I bought several of them. At first they were masks. I bought oh geez, what are they called? Neck gaiters. Neck gaiters. I have a bunch of those. I should start using one of those on the back for the back of my neck. But yeah, okay. So it's going to be about 8 o'clock. We've been going for about an hour. I'm not getting a temperature warning on my camera. That's pretty good. If you're just joining us, we got about 20 folks in checking out stuff, and a handful of our good friends chatting in the Twitch channel. We're raising money for St. Jude, so if you can, just type !donate, and it'll take you to our Tiltify link, which goes directly to St. Jude. You can put in any amount. Any amount gets you a chance to pick the shader for this painting and then get it for free. I might have to, whoever wins, I might have to talk to you about shipping. If you live real far away, I might not be able to eat that cost, but it's a very good chance I will. So just jump in, do that. It's going all day, actually. You have a chance to win that, unlike my tweets yesterday suggested, where you'd have only these 2 hours to get a chance. That was probably delicious. Sniffed a bunch of snot right into the microphone. Thank you, Squared, for popping that donate command into chat. Appreciate it, bud. Okay, now we're gonna do, I'm turning around to look at a reference of Thorn to get it, to make sure I'm doing its little fiddly bits right. We're gonna do the inside here, where these gems are. Gems? I don't know what they are. Yeah, it's shipping in the US for that size painting. If I do it outside of Etsy, it's like 25, maybe 30 bucks total. If you're very close, it might be a few dollars less than that, but if you're very far away, it might be a few dollars more than that. If you're international, I don't know why I said it that way, international. It wasn't even like an imitation of any kind of accent. That was like 4 accents together. It was just bad. If you're an international viewer, we'd have to figure out exactly how it would work, but I'm sure I could make it work. I just started doing some international shipping on Etsy, and whoo, it takes a while to process. It took over a week to send something to Canada, and then it took a month to send something to Sweden. It was... Whew. Oh yeah, this is... Oh no, I've covered it up with the commands. This is the... This is Rekindling by Les Indices. It looks like it's a French chill hop creator. Storm hooked us up with info on this channel that does like royalty free, no DMCA takedown garbage music to use for the streams. Yeah. This has a very like, well, it's interesting. I was listening to a God, what was it? Switched on Pop, I think, did an episode about chill hop and how J Dilla and anime were like the progenitors of this style in America. Because Dilla used an unsync setting. Cobb probably knows what it is on his MPC. It causes the tones not to snap to a metronome. Yeah, it's wonderful, dude. It's like one of my favorite things to listen to. I used to listen to it constantly while I was at work when I was a GM for Citadel, and I was working on Legends of Aria. I would sit there and listen because it was just like I could focus on reading chat and checking on players and fixing things for people. Never had to think too hard about what I was listening to, and it was just chill. So yeah, this piece is for a commissioner. Big ups. I don't want to blast everybody while I'm doing a live stream. I didn't tell anyone that I was going to be talking about their pieces, so I don't want to get into too much detail of the commissioner, but I'm very thankful to the person who reached out after my recent van troubles. God, good lord. I have a new van now. It's doing great. And getting these commissions was a big reason that I was able to make sure that would happen. And this one is Thorn and Last Word, obviously on a skate deck here. And it is sort of highlighting the earlier lore and sort of legend implications, because now we know a lot more about where Thorn exactly comes from. And at the end of D1 we got to know a bit more about where Last Word, sort of Last Word and First Curse, and then again in D2 they sort of revised the lore again with the forging quest that we did for it, which was actually really cool. I really liked that quest a lot. I originally did it on PS4 and I don't know, I just couldn't get the timing right. It took a lot of effort to get the timing down in there. My dog is he's being very needy this morning. I wonder if I should just let him out back real quick. Make y'all wait and look at a couple other things while I step out. No, he's good. He's laying down. He's chilling. He's chilling. This is gonna get like a ton of wash back here. Overall, a bunch of this is coming out very good. Very happy with where this is headed. But yeah, Thorn and Last Word are like a sort of opposing force in and of themselves because of the way they sort of tie into the Dark Age stuff. But at the same time, now that we know how sort of the current Thorn that we have, what it was, what we've made, same with Last Word, I really do hope, yeah, I agree, Coed, I hope we see Shin. They're bringing like all the greatest sort of Destiny NPC hits, our greatest heroes, they're all like entering back into the game. I don't want to get into too much like crazy spoiler biz, but all that new stuff, don't have time to explain what I don't have time to explain. Getting time to explain. Very excited about that. All right, I think that's what I'm gonna do to Thorn here right now. Maybe I'll give it a good, like, bit of highlight in there. Just use the paint that's left in the brush. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna boop, 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 boop. Yeah, it's not new, is it? New lore justifications for why our old stuff is back. I mean, it's continuation. It's new parts of the story. Oh yeah, they are totally winter. These are like, and they wipe superbly. Like if I have to scratch some off or just like wipe down on something. And that's like the people at Citadel, the people at Games Workshop totally know like exactly why. But anyway, yeah, it is like continuing the story, right? So it's not new because it's the. Am I talking spoilers here? Does it matter? It's our good friend Elsie. Wink. We don't know for sure, but we know. Yeah, just like getting those continuations, getting that stuff finished is that's like a huge deal to us, I think. Ooh, this gold's almost out. Maybe I'll use the heavy gold and I'll highlight with that. Oh, I have way too many of these. I have some that are so old that are like, they're dead, and I haven't done anything to replace them. Happy little gold. Happy little highlights on the happy little weapon of sorrow. Wait, what? Yeah, hey, listen, hey, everybody, check chat. Check it, check. We got Squared in there. He's doing thing. If you donate any amount during our blocks today, we have a big set of incentives now. It's not just my Fellwinter's painting. There's a whole mess of different things that we've gotten everybody who's participating. If they had something that they were going to try to give away solo a mano, we're now doing it as a group, as a collaborative effort. It's going to be great. So yeah, I've been working on the parts of this deck for maybe like 10 or 15 minutes here, and you're probably seeing that like, do I want to use this? I'm going to swap to something else in just a few minutes here, because maybe I'll put another gray layer on while this dries. This Citadel stuff dries ridiculously fast. So some of it's already ready. Is that? I'm pretty sure that's visible. Watching the stream, it's on a little bit of a delay. Yeah, we got Squared came in even just last night and helped us put together a pool instead of some solo stuff. Because a lot of what we've been working on was shoestring and last minute, because we all have, you know, day jobs, and everybody has put a lot of time into this effort, but you know, we don't have infinite time, and even though there's been a pandemic and a lot of craziness out in the world, everybody's still putting a lot of effort in. You know, they gotta keep themselves going, and so we put a lot of time into it. Squared was able to help us very generously with his time recently and get us, oh yeah, Growing Up Tomorrow stuff too. Cool, that's awesome. Yeah, like Cobb said, for the kids and for cool art. Sort of. Oh, this part is gonna get a lot more layering for sure. I need to actually get in here with a detail brush. I don't know why I'm trying to give it like a layering of gold. Well, that's sort of doing it. But here, let's go with detail. Gonna put in I guess it's like filigree. Basically. It's a design. It's an engraving on the cannon. This will get even, I'll probably put even finer detail into this after I go back in with some very dark grays to finish off this. Ooh, look at that! We're doing some secret biz right in stream. Looks like Cobb's getting in on the... Yeah, there you go. Networking. This is real networking. Getting shit done. Alright, I want to thank everybody for being here this morning. For some of you it may be about as early as it is for me. If you're out here on the West Coast, I know it's not quite so early for all you East Coasters. And if I still had my time zone clock up, which I try to check every day because I've been chatting with some fine folks from around the world lately, and I don't wanna hit them up at 3 in the morning their time, right at lunchtime, you know, or something like that. Some random time not great for them. Everybody's been real gracious as of late, though. People just glad to have each other checking in and staying up. It's been good. I've been an internet person for a long time. Yeah, Cobb. Like, I basically was like, "Oh, I picked very early for myself, didn't I?" Yeah, I hadn't expected to do that, but it's fine. I get up early for work every day now. I rather enjoy it these days, actually. Is the trigger on... It should be, though. Trigger on Last Word isn't gold. That would be dope if it was. Maybe it can be. Maybe I can make it gold. No, I didn't discuss that with this commissioner. I'm not just going to go ahead and take that liberty. Oh yeah, you're playing Last of Us? I've heard good things. I've heard that it's very Last of Us. I never played Last of Us 1. It came into my life at a very weird moment that was very high stress. And I literally played the first chapter. And it added a lot of stress, so I stopped like right away because I was like, no way, I'm not playing this game, not right now. Hey Day, Daystra. Yeah, it was just Last of Us 1 was too much in the moment that I started to try to play it. I've heard that the new one is also quite intense. And I've seen some of the, I've seen a little bit of gameplay footage. But it doesn't start off with the same, my understanding is it doesn't start off with the same exact kind of, like, gut punch. Or at least it's not like, from what I read, it wouldn't be the same level of, like, destructive sadness that the first game was for me. You need to deep clean your PS4 before you play the games. You want to hear co-ed. My PS4 is filled with ants. It's filled with ants. Ants. Filled with ants. So we have, there's these little teeny tiny sugar ants. They get in through like every crack of this house. And when it rains, and it's been like an especially rainy season, they, GameStop won't take it. Cobb. Yeah, it's, so they got in, and then my PlayStation had been on sleep mode because I had been, like every couple of nights or so, I would play like a little chunk of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then it wasn't raining anymore, and I noticed that I was having tons and tons and tons of ants come in. And I was like, where are these fucking ants coming from? Where are these ants? How are they getting in here? And it turns out they were coming from inside the house. Inside the PlayStation 4, more like. So yeah, it was very bad. I have taken care of it already. I just haven't cleaned it and brought it back to my room. Wait, I'm sorry, what? Why'd you try to put a PB&J in there? Man, I had, my family had the original NES, which was like, oh, trying to determine my answer in there. No, it's just they went to the heat. I've had, I think you remember I've talked to y'all about having some bug problems in the past, which I won't rehash here. The PlayStation ants are probably the least horrible. But yeah, they just got in and they found the heat and they just went in there and they stayed in there, and I put some bait and then put some bait like along the edge of the back of it, and then I wrapped it in plastic so they couldn't get out. I feel bad, but like, they're not supposed to be in there. It's not their house. It's my game console. I was planning after this whole after the stream stuff that I was going to go ahead and take it apart actually and clean it out, put it all back together, and get back to playing games on my PlayStation 4, not treating it like a bad ant colony. And I'm gonna stack another piece up on the table here, and I need to step out for just a few moments because I have to. My dog he really wants to go outside, so I'm gonna let him out really quickly while y'all look at some next pieces of art. I will put down several that are in the queue that are getting finished up today. Or getting worked on today at least. We've got these. Those all visible? I feel like they're not entirely. I'll scoot everything. Hey Ken, what's up? Alright, I will be right back. Sorry to have to walk away. The doggo needs his outsides real quick. BRB. And now y'all know how my fire teams feel when we're raiding or playing PvP. I just have to leave for a few minutes at a time. So, this one, Mago Loop, this came from working on the layout for Karma's Revenge. And because I logged back into D1 and I just had one sitting in my inventory, and I was like, I remember Imago Loop. This is a commission for my bud Benny. He's oh geez, what's Benny's Twitter handle? At BennyTheJet55, I think. I'm gonna throw him on blast because that's easy. He's always blasting out my work too. Benny, what's your Twitter handle? Yeah, I was right. At Benny the Jet 55. I remember stuff sometimes. This is his Warlock. He uses sun bracers for one of his main builds, which is a great build. I use sun bracers also when I mess around with Warlock. I am not very good at it, but I try. And this is I'm not gonna throw you on blast, Locke, but Izanagi's Burden with the Ronin ornament. I'm probably gonna finish this one and this custom, very very Gundam style red, that bright red Prodigal helm, right? Because on what's it called? On Hunter, it's a mask. So I'm going to try to put these all the way up here so they're visible. And I am definitely going to add some water to this wash. Yeah, Ghost is a needy boy. And he tries to wait, it seems like. But he can't. Gundam, you say? $32 runs the entirety of St. Jude for 1 whole second. Dang. Dang, Nightbot. Dang. Really, Nightbot? What did I just do with that? Did I throw it away? That wasn't smart. Going to put some unique sort of paint job details into this in the next layer. So I'm trying to darken some sections up so that I can put more detail on it. But I don't want it to get too dark. So this is just India ink and water in an old Citadel Nuln oil pot. And so it's just diluted a little bit so I can do sort of wash like sketchy lines. This is going to get probably one more layer of fine detail once I get these last bits of color and shading into it. And I have to kind of apologize to the commissioners for some of these because they're so small. I could have just crushed them last week, or maybe the week before while I was still doing planning stuff, but I also wanted to have these for this so that I could sort of show off the process in a lot of the different steps and phases when it's, you know, almost done, not done at all in the very beginning phases. There's a lot of difference to what the pieces get. So I wanted to stack up some that I knew were very close to ready. Sorry. But hopefully it's making for some fine entertainment as it stands. This is I really enjoyed doing this one, even at kind of a smaller size. This helmet is, it's a very cool, like, I was talking on Twitter the other night about a specific set that was one of my favorites, but one of my favorites in terms of being like, oh, this is a very specifically sci-fi style, because Destiny has a lot of pieces that are like very fantasy style or very like sort of kit bash style, and some of these are just like straight up sci-fi, and they're such cool armor sets. Like the raid set from Scourge of the Past is like just one of the neatest sets. The Prodigal set for all three classes is, it has like a very sci-fi vibe that's different than a lot of the other stuff that's been in the game, especially since D2 launch, when they swapped around a lot of the styles and sort of changed some stuff out. And we had a very like fancy high fantasy set as our first set and our first sort of look in the game. And then when we went to the Dreaming City and we went to the Tangled Shore, we got these smooth lined fantasy sets, and we got these kit bashed, it's very Fallen-esque, very ruins and remnants. And the Prodigal set was like, I remember noticing, and there's a lot of like, because video game stuff in video games, right? So you've got like, the Prodigal set was, for the hunters, it's Aldrin's armor from D1, basically. It's a little bit different. It's a D2 set, so it has a lot more detail and stuff. But I don't think the other classes had a similar set in D1. Maybe I just don't remember because I played so little of actual like grinding and build crafting for Warlock and Titan on D1. Winter, you're calling out very specific Citadel paint names. I have a pot of Agrax Earthshade. I have a whole. If it was easier to take it out of its position in the supply closet, it's literally a closet. It's over here. It's a supply closet. I would pull out my little rack of paints. I've probably got about 50 different ones from a long time of collecting them and half using them. Some of those paint pots are fully dead and they shouldn't be opened ever again. It's just crusty noise at the bottom. Can't do anything with it. Try to get these eye sockets, and then I'm gonna get like make it look like it's got a sort of skull. It already looks kind of like a skull, but I'm going to add some very specific I'm so stuffed up this morning. I feel like I keep trying to like exhale without sniffling. Does he know his music is off? It shouldn't be. Was the track just ending? I can hear it. Desktop audio. I'm getting a signal. It was between songs, just like I thought it might be. Hello, Benny. Also, hi. How are we all doing this morning? / almost afternoon for most of you. Do I have a greyhound? No, I do not. I have a whippet. He is like a medium-sized greyhound. There's like greyhounds, whippets, Italian greyhounds. My boy, he's in the middle. His name is Ghost. He is not named after anything from Destiny. He is named after Mario Kart. He's not named after Game of Thrones. He's named after something from Mario Kart. He's not named after Ghost in the Shell. He is named after something from Mario Kart. When I first got him, he's a rescue, and he was kind of afraid to leave my side, so he would just follow me around. So I was originally going to name him something like Noodle or Soba, because he's skinny and he's so stretched out looking. But once he started following me around like that, all I could think of is like when you play like a one-player time trial in like Wipeout or Mario Kart especially, and you have that like ghost car, right? And if you're doing it right, it's like always kind of right behind you. If you're getting better, every lap you take, you're ahead of your ghost, but your ghost is always like right there. Maybe that's just the way I play those racing games. But yeah, I think even like, you know, Gran Turismo and Forza have something similar. So that was how I named him. Whoa, someone donated $200. What's up? Oh, Dunk. I haven't been looking at this total at all. We're already at 413. We're already almost a quarter of the way to our tiny, modest goal that we set for a group of streamers, which, granted, like I'm telling y'all, we're going to blow that goal out of the water when it comes to getting folks like Cobb and Munkus and Jonesy on, when it comes to getting all these amazing artists that we have. We got Storm Whisper coming up in about 20 minutes, it looks like. Heather O Studio herself, one of our intrepid organizers she just did so much for the streams, y'all. Like it was, oh, Heather, you stepped up. Thank you so much. I was hoping to do more, but work and everything, trying to get my own stuff set for this, being a contributor as well as an organizer, it just turned into too much. And then we had so many people, so many amazing people that got this whole thing done. Shreya and Tanya and Joe. Just a huge thanks to Joe and Ruby and Tyler for letting us use the channel for this, so we didn't have to like try to set up a whole brand new thing, you know, and get stuck, you know, not being able to promote into an existing infrastructure. That was so nice of y'all to do that for us, and we're just getting so much in. Hey, look, it's Ferrex. What's up, buddy? How you doing? How are you doing? There's so many people in the chat. This is great. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming and hanging out this morning while I finish some layers on some things. Ferrex, I gotta do a photo shoot with you in the game, man. We gotta get that look, because I have been building. Oh, thank you. Betty, even if you ignore your alarms. Thanks for coming, bud. But yeah, Ferrex, I have been building well, the swords now are the new ones, but a sword and hand cannon and shoddy or fusion build with the top tree gunslinger and with the same arms, which I'm totally blanking on whether it's not the sealed Ahamkara grasps or the other one that has Ahamkara on it, but I have, it looks dope with the new armor, with the what's it called? It looks like Dead Space. It's got like the metal young Ahamkara spine. That's right, it's that one. But that thing is great. I am like learning to use trip mines. Such a bad hunter. Learning to use trip mines. I'm even trying to figure out how to take a gunslinger build or a blade barrage build into Crucible, because I broke all of my Arcstrider builds because I was using the Powerful Friends mod. I had it on 3 pieces of armor, so I could get 100 Moby, 70 resilience, and like 50 or 60 dis. And I still have a couple of 100 int builds, but I just haven't been digging into too much like super meta. I've been playing trials. I looked at the trials rewards last night and I was like, I'll pass this week. So yeah, Void, bottom tree on Void has become very usable in PvE for me, but I just haven't had anything jump out this season really. Okay, we're getting there. Getting towards the end of the stream. We've got about 15 minutes left. You have been a bottom tree. Yeah. I even tried kind of Ace on your, I guess not suggestion because it's not like you were suggesting it specifically, but I tried a Graviton forfeit build as well. And I actually kind of had a decent set of stats on that for trials when I was just throwing smoke at my teammates. But otherwise, man, I really like Arcstrider. But I have no good Arcstrider builds anymore. I have to redo all of it. I'm probably going to go with a super build for that instead of a shotgun rush build. Trick Sleeves is, I'm not gonna lie, that was the first thing I tried to build with when D2 came out, because in D1 I had played Scout Sidearm and I loved it. I had a bunch of cool weapons that I really like. Scout rifles were like my favorite in D1. So I was a Mida multi-tool person. I remember like getting that gun in the game. There was if we have some Mass Effect fans in the house. What's up, Spectres? There was a sniper rifle in that game that was like, there was like a 6-round magazine one. There was a 10-round magazine one. I think it was the ones you got from Garrus for doing like all the special quest stuff. But that had a feel to it. That had a very specific feel to it, and I was very into that. And then Mida, when I played Destiny, had that same vibe, and I was like, oh, I know this. Like I've played like this before, so I tried that out. Really liked it. And then it was, I swapped from Xbox to PS, and it was the first one I got when I swapped, and I was like, it's a sign. I'm gonna keep using Mida Multi-Tool. It was also the first one that I thought of doing a painting of. And I messed around with ooh, yeah, that's a good Titan build. I messed around a lot with the you just said the name, you just typed the name of it. It was the reason I started. Trick sleeves. I messed around with trick sleeves a lot when I got to D2, but then it turned out that the sidearm and Mida stuff just wasn't the same. I mean, Mida became kind of meta on its own for a while. But now, I was just talking about this last night, Scouts are back out. They're not big, they're not top tier. They haven't been for ages. It's an auto rifles world out there. Oh, whoa. Did we, what happened? That's just this. It's fine. Weird. Okay, that was odd. My iPad just dropped. It wasn't anything on the stream. Everything seems fine. See, all this one needed was a little bit of final shading. Maybe I'll do a tiny bit more gold to get a couple of highlights in there before it's completely done. So there's that one. Let me put some shading into Benny here. Take a look at my reference photo. The mini Nagi. Yeah, dude, that was, you know, when I put out the call for commissions, somebody just was like, I can afford this size and this is what I want. And I was like, dope. We'll see what it looks like that small. And it looks good. It looks really good, I think. It's my baby boy. Oh yeah, I like the original just because I like the sharpness of the blue and white. It's like so unique. But yeah, that is a really cool ornament. It's got a very distinct vibe. and it matches the lore so well, which is basically like Japanese folklore. The Izanagi's Burden and Izanami Forge. Those are two characters from Japanese folklore. A husband and wife, I think, if I recall correctly. One of our esteemed fellow players probably knows what it is off the top of their head. I'm not saying that you should put it into chat, but I'm not saying you shouldn't. Maybe we should spend the last 8 minutes of my segment here just sort of getting everybody hyped for Heather, getting everybody hyped for the rest of the day, for donating to St. Jude, for getting some help to these kids, making sure that folks are okay, and making sure that the world knows the gaming community is filled with a bunch of generous, interesting, handsome, gorgeous, talented, actually skilled, not talented. Talent's a word that means a thing that doesn't exist. Skill is what you do when you practice, like that question that they say, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Google Maps. Just kidding. Practice. That's how you get to Carnegie Hall. Practice. Never stop learning, never stop practicing. Never stop getting better at the things you love doing, whether it's Crucible or your day job or something with your family, with your life, art, whatever it is. Practice. You're not perfect out the gate. You're not great. You're not good without effort. Got to get in there. You got to do a little, you know? Every day, a little bit more. Every day, a little bit more. Every day, a little bit more. And then you'll be there. Carnegie Hall. Every day. And if you can't do it every day, you know, like, when you can, get back to it. Always try to come back to it. Always try to get better. My dog really wants to go for, like, full walkies. He's only got to wait a few more minutes. He barely knows that that's the case. But soon he will. Alright, so you got these like spaceman ass arms in this design here, Benny. So I'm going to try to get some of the metal look and some of the modeling through the fact that it's like, and I'm kind of outside of the space in the original design, so I'm gonna kind of fill that in with a shade. Oh, I could shade in some of his hand here too. Probably get some of these darker bits. I'm gonna cover this with some thick acrylic. Okay, so we got about 5 more minutes. Coming up next, we got Storm Whisperer, Heather O. Studio. She's a designer and a UX and UI specialist. That's user experience and user interface, for those of you who don't know. She helped us organize the scheduling. She helped us organize all of the tasks, all of the workflow for this whole project, from getting all the artists onto the GCX website to getting the streams organized Big thanks to her. She's going to be next. I'm going to be hopping offline in about 4 minutes. I want to thank everybody for joining in, for donating $413. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. I'm so glad that everybody's come through and joined in. Squared and Joe are gonna be helping me track who all has donated throughout the day, to see who's gonna get the chance to pick their favorite shader for Fellwinter's Lie. Legendary shotgun from this past season. Well, how about that Fellwinter Rasputin story? That was wild. I hope everybody got a chance to do that quest, and if they didn't, I hope Bungie puts a way to go back and do that in, because that's some wild story. That's some intense biz. I'm so happy that they're starting to explore stuff like this. It's making me so happy to see so many parts of this game come to life. Stuff that we had to ignore before, or stuff that was taken out. It's great, y'all. This has been one of my favorite games, one of my favorite franchises from one of my favorite studios for a long time. Go way back to the Halo days, playing on the couch, split screen. They've always been able to make the feel of that super right. Even back to, oh man, what was that game called where you were Kusanagi from, it's called Oni. That game was dope. It's a PC game. Anyway, I'm glad we're all here doing this stuff together. I'm glad we're all, brought together by this studio and all this crazy sci-fi world that we enjoy together. Thanks to everybody for coming out, and I'm happy to have been here for our first block, where I had to get up mega early, and no, I didn't oversleep and almost only have a half an hour when I wanted 2 hours to get ready. Why do you ask? But it has been a sprint this past couple of weeks getting everything ready for this. That doesn't mean that it's not still a marathon to make sure that we're supporting each other in the gaming community, making sure that our spaces are open and inclusive and not, horrible trash fires like some other little islands of the community have been. I'm happy to work with the folks at Pixels After Dark and GCX who have worked hard to make their spaces open and inclusive and thoughtful, present. And that has been an amazing thing for these past couple of years. So thank you very much, everyone. We've got about 30 seconds left for my block, and then I'm gonna go dark, so Heather can jump in and take the channel. So we're sharing keys in the Pixels After Dark stream today. Remember, keep an eye on chat. Everybody can hang out. Heather will be live in just a few minutes, or moments actually, I'm sure it is. Everybody can just chill here, and we're going to have people all day. We got Cobb, he's in the chat. We got, I can think of more, I promise. Munkus, Mr. Munkus is going to be with us. Dr. Jones, Death Duck, Winter's been with us in the chat during the day here. So thanks very much, everybody, and I will see you all later. Peace.